Hey guys, welcome to Furia Music Studio. Today's video isn't actually about how to play this thing. Today's video is about how I mix using two computers at the same time, one PC, one Mac. The Mac running Pro Tools, the PC running Digital Performer. And this gives me 32 instances of Acoustica audio plugins in addition to the other Slate, UAD, Fab Filters, and Seventh Heaven plugins. In addition to that, I run 32 instances of Acoustica Audio plugins. So those of you who know Acoustica Audio know how awesome they sound, but you also know how much of a CPU drain they are to your computer. So in this system, I am using two computers, like I said, simultaneously at the same time to mix. And no, it's not DigiGrid. Okay? So this following video is just a quick overview of how it functions. Okay? How I integrate one computer with the other to get one sound and one mix. And if you like what you're hearing, hit like, hit subscribe, and in future videos, I might even be able to show you how to hook it up. Okay? So enjoy the video.
Okay, and here we are in my control room where you can see we have one screen with Pro Tools. Just change it around. There you can see it's Pro Tools. And on my upper screen we have Digital Performer. Good old DP, Digital Performer. And like I said, I'm running one session simultaneously on Pro Tools and Digital Performer. Here we have my Mac Pro running Pro Tools, which is the master. And I have this custom built PC, which is 12 core Mac Pro, 64 gigs of RAM, 12 core AMD Threadripper, 32 gigs of RAM. This is running Digital Performer. This is running Pro Tools. Okay, here we have my interface, which is an Antelope Orion 32 Plus. This is 32 in, 32 out, but it also does MADI. And this is the way I'm getting my inserts into the PC, into Digital Performer, by MADI. So basically I'm using this MADI interface from Motu, the M64. And all this is doing is relaying a digital MADI light pipe signal from the Antelope, which is the Mac Pro running Pro Tools. It exports MADI from the Antelope into the M64. The M64 is connected to the PC, and the PC is running Digital Performer. Okay, so I'm gonna hit play. Please excuse the hand-free camera. I'm doing this all by myself, and it's kind of difficult, especially I'm a newbie at this filming stuff. So as you can see, I'm gonna hit play, and this is a mix I'm working on. I just have a section of it looped, no vocals or back vocals, because I may or may not have permission to play this. So it's only just a musical part. It's a salsa arrangement, so maybe your cup of tea, maybe not, but it'll work just fine for this demonstration. So when I hit play, obviously Pro Tools is going to start playing, but you will also see the faders going up in Digital Performer. Remember, Digital Performer is on a separate PC. This is not DigiGrid. So as you can see, the audio is playing through both systems. It's coming out of Pro Tools into Digital Performer. It's getting processed through Digital Performer, being dumped back into Pro Tools using inserts, just regular inserts. So I have a piano here. It says insert 19 and 20. When we go up to Digital Performer, you can see the piano channel is on optic, which is MADI 19 and 20. So I have my inserts from channels 17 to 32 on the antelope, rigged to MADI, going out to this Motu into Digital Performer. And I'm just doing a regular insert loop back. Okay. The next section, I'm going to show you how I can either mute or solo something here, or mute or solo something there. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the control functions of, obviously, the Mac Pro is the master. So when I hit play, it's going to play Pro Tools. And the only thing that Digital Performer is doing is accepting audio, importing it, and exporting it on the insert loop. So my ins and outs are on the same insert channel. So it's just basically an audio loop. And there's no playing. I mean, Digital Performer doesn't actually move. It's just static there. I'm going through the mixer, and I'm using acoustic audio plugins. So as you can see, on every channel, plus my stems or aux or bus channels are here also as stereo channels, matched to the ones in Pro Tools. I'm using basically like a virtual mixer and a tape machine. So the audio that leaves Pro Tools, as soon as I hit play, it comes out and it's hitting the tape machine. And I'm using Taup tape, Acoustic Audio's tape simulation plugin. So that's the first thing on my chain. Then the second thing on my chain is going to be my console, which I'm using Camel. Camel has this Trident Vibe and a Calrec, very good compressor, but I like the Trident Vibe on the EQ and the preamps. So I switch preamps. I'm not using the same preamp on every channel, so I can get that console feel of different channels. So this is what I'm doing. I'm using Digital Performer to process my audio, and I'm hitting tape, just like a real studio, like an analog studio. You hit play, the tape machine rolls, the audio leaves the tape machine, goes through your board, your mixing board, and then back out again. So it goes back out to Pro Tools, and I do my extra processing, as you can see here, in Pro Tools. And I also have acoustic audios here. As you can see, I'm using Nebula N4, which is basically what I'm using in Pro Tools besides my other plugins. N4 on all of my aux buses, all of my auxes, N4. This is also, this Nebula is a Trident 80B series console sound. As you can tell, I love Trident. I have also these Trident preamps here, so probably next will be a Trident. Maybe next to the SSLs, a Trident ADB EQs. I really love the Trident for some reason. Okay, so and also I have a Seventh Heaven. I'm using a Seventh Heaven Studio A room vibe that I'm putting on all the channels except the vocal and the bass. Obviously, the bass is a upright acoustic baby bass, so I don't want any. It's an electric pickup baby bass and upright, so I don't want any room sound here, and I don't want a weird room sound on the vocal either. So I have the plugin placed on the channel, but it's bypassed, and the rest has the same Seventh Heaven plugin because I want the whole orchestra to get that studio room vibe, that studio A sound. Obviously not a lot, as you can see, it's a little decay time and the mix is really low, so but it's just a hint of getting that room sound also. So I'm basically using outboard, but in the box outboard. So I'm leaving one box, entering the other, and coming back to the box. So you can say I'm out of the box and in the box. All right. So let me switch this. I'm going to hit play again. Excuse me. I'm doing this one-handed while holding the camera, so you have to excuse me. I'm going to hit play, and I'll solo, let's say, the congas. So I'll hit play. My voice is going to go when I hit play. So I'm going to hit play. I'm going to solo the congas here in Pro Tools, and it should just solo the congas. Let's go. For some reason, the bass is sounding. I don't know why, but it's not supposed to. But here you can see that it works. I soloed the congas. And if I do it again, but I do it on Digital Performer, it will also solo the congas. So I'm going to hit play again. My voice playback is going to mute, obviously, when I hit play. But you'll see that I could do the same thing up here. So it's not an optical illusion. It's not a trick. It's the same mix. It's the same sound coming from one system out through another and back in again. So here we go. I'm gonna solo the congas, but here on Digital Performer. So there you go. I'm actually running one mix on two simultaneous systems on two different computers, and once again, it is not DigiGrid. Okay, there's a certain way to hook this up, and there is going to be latency. I'm listening to myself while I talk on this video, and I'm hearing the latency, obviously, because I'm in a mixing session and my buffer is at 1024. So I'm having this, had to take one of my earphones off, one of my in-ears out, because I just felt like I was out of phase. All right, the key to this is there's going to be latency, but for the latency to be equally distributed to all channels, so you won't hear one channel in front, one channel behind, and the other channel lagging, in front of the other channel lagging behind, or a track, let's say the congas are up ahead and the trumpets are lagging behind. Every channel has to have the same plugin. Okay, so if I'm going to use taupe tape, I have to use the tape on every channel. So that way every channel gets delayed equally. Camel, the same. I choose camel. People use sand. I've tried to use sand. For this type of music, camel just seems to work because it's, like I said, it's the trident vibe. I have pink. I have gold, um, coffee. I have cream too. So I have a lot of choices in acoustic audio. But I usually, when I mix this genre, I stick with camel. Um, it's basically because of the preamps and the vibe of the EQ and also the compressor, which is a Calrec. It's pretty nice. Okay, and like I said, I have all of these seventh heavens. Even though the first two channels are bypassed, the remember that a plugin, even if it's bypassed, it's activated and it's working on your CPU. So if you really want to like not have it tax your CPU, you have to deactivate it. Um, but in my case, if I do that, then those two channels will be jumping in front, and the rest of the channels would be lagging behind. So I don't want those. I don't want the Studio A sound on the bass or on my vocal. I need a dry vocal boost sound. So I just um, open it to keep the latency chain equal and just bypass it. Okay, and this is basically how I'm mixing super hybrid. I have to print the mix, so I am printing a mix. I do have a print bus, which is, and I have a master bus, but I do have a print bus here, and I do print the mix, even though I am currently summing. I have the 2 bus plus, but I'm only using 2 channels, and I am using the harmonics, the harmonic switch, the harmonic button. I'm also using the transformer, and I have my summing, my bus compressor, which is a Teagler Audio Cream, which is very awesome. I also have the EQ engaged. I have 1 dB of 24K, just giving that nice air, and 1 dB of 200, giving it a nice little thump on the bottom end. And this is basically what you call a super hybrid, um, analog to computers, plugins here, plugins there. It's kind of wacky, but I have to give a shout out to Mr. Paul Tewig at Pro 2 Studios in England. I think it's in Leeds, Sheffield or Leeds, England. He has this monster setup with his Mac Pro, but he has 3 PCs slaved, so he's got about 72 channels, and he can run a ton of acoustic audio plugins. He was kind enough to accept a FaceTime call from me, and he took time out of his schedule, and he was so nice about explaining how this works, and I was able to hook it up without a hitch. So shout out to Mr. Paul Tewig in England, Pro 2 Studios. Um, Location, it's either in Leeds or Sheffield, close there. I'm not 100% sure, but you can Google it. If any of you guys are up there in that area in England, you got to track something. That's a monster studio. Paul Tewig is a master engineer. Okay, so basically that's it. I know it's just an overview. I just wanted to show you how it looks, how it sounds, how it functions. Okay, just the bare bones. If you're interested in a follow-up video, then that's going to depend on the traffic, because this, it takes time to do videos, and it's time that takes away from mixing and all of that stuff that I have to do. But if there's people interested in knowing how to do this, people that want to use acoustic audio and not leave Pro Tools, which is basically what I wanted to do. I wanted to use acoustic audio plugins without having to switch Daws and leave Pro Tools. Um, this is the way. This is one of the alternatives to go. There is the Digi Grid thing. I'm not too very familiar with it, but if this video picks up traction, leave your comments, like, subscribe, and I may do a second video showing the step-by-step hookup, how to hook this up, especially if you have an Antelope, uh, any type of Antelope interface where we have to go into the matrix, the routing matrix, which is a little complicated, but I can show you how to hook and set up everything to get your ins and outs all set up, right? Okay, guys, like I said, if you like what you saw, like, subscribe, comment, hit the bell, and I'll get back to you. Any questions, I'll try to answer it. Have a good one. Happy mixing.